Yes, I'll share.
Prabhuji, uh,
Yes,
can
Mataji.
you share yesterday's recording to group, sir? Like yesterday, there was more network issues, so I could not hear properly.
Yes, Mataji, I have actually after the class, once it since it's get some time to upload in the cloud, and from the cloud I need to get that video and upload it somewhere. So maybe after this end of this class, because a lot of devotees are
Huh,
asking from the day one. So
okay.
maybe by tomorrow morning I'll be doing it. I'll be sharing all those whatever, including today class in YouTube, and then
Huh.
you all can access those videos. Whoever missed the classes. But yes, this attendance will be purely based on whoever person is joining physically, because whoever person is joining physically, they will be only getting 12 days of certificate. They are joining 12 days, then they will be getting that entitled for that, getting a certificate. Only for watching
Oh,
videos, you can watch any day. That's not an issue. Okay.
okay, Prabhuji. Thank you,
Yeah.
Prabhuji.
Just
I
type.
had joined yesterday, but because of network issues, I had some problem.
Okay.
That's
So did you join on day one also, Mataji?
yeah, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Actually, yesterday's class I could not hear. That's it.
Okay. No issues, Mataji. We'll share after this class maybe. By tomorrow morning,
Thank
it
you,
should.
Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Prabhuji. Hare
Prabhuji, if
Krishna.
1 or 2 classes are missed, then
No problem. There are total 18 days classes are there. So we have met that criteria that at least minimum 12 days of classes devotees should be attending, and they should be taking the quiz, because we'll be checking those answers also once you take the quiz. So every day after the class, in the group, we are sharing this material, what we are sharing right now in that PDF format, and you have been sent a link also. If somebody haven't taken a quiz till now, it's already there in the group chat, and somebody doesn't have, maybe after this class I'll send you personally also the quiz and this PPT also. Maybe you can go through it. All the questions are related to whatever we are discussing in the class, and the recordings by tomorrow morning for all those, including today, I'll be sharing it by tomorrow morning in the group. Is it fine?
thank you, Prabhuji. Fine, thank you, sir.
Yeah, yes. Ramesh Prabhu says for certificate we need 12 days attendance and quiz answer. Yes, Prabhu, that's correct. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be attending this 18 days. You can give you 1 hour of time to Krishna, and you'll be saying after this 18 days of time which you have given to Krishna, your life will be changing. You'll be seeing the life in a different way. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, so let's start already 5 minutes.
I
Oh, yeah,
think we should.
somebody.
Actually, one thing I have given in the point of improvement, and also I want to know. I mean, over the group only, if all the participants are okay. Can they read shlokas in Hindi language? Because maybe people are facing problem in pronouncing in English the shlokas which everyone. So I have already given a suggestion. I mean, is everyone comfortable with Hindi language in shlokas?
Yes, yes, Mataji. See, if you have a Bhagavad Gita copy, you can read it from that one also. That's fine. The translation, since it is an English class, we are trying
ఏంటి
to read it in English also. There are Bhagavad
నేను
Gita which
పెడతాను
I
లేదు
also take in Hindi also. So there we read it in Hindi.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, that's not an issue, Mataji. So if you, Komal Mataji, if you want to go into the Hindi classes also, this time I'm not taking in Hindi. There are other devotees,
I'm more
different timings
comfortable
are
with
there,
English.
4 to 5, 6 to 7, and 7 are. So you can join there also if you are not comfortable in
No,
English.
no, I'm more comfortable with English only. Maybe because people are facing problem in pronunciation, na, that's why I
Ah,
thought that maybe if they are
so
okay,
yeah,
shlokas is in.
Mataji, every day I used to say all the devotees please read one shloka. So that's the reason I have put one slide here also about the reading the shlokas also. The correct pronunciation is important, but Krishna sees the effort, how much they are trying to read. So with that, maybe I'll start the class today. Hare Krishna devotees. So I welcome you to this course of Gita Gyan, Essence of Bhagavad Gita by ISKCON Seshadripuram, Bangalore. And let's see what Krishna says. Devaki Nandana Krishna Gita Pathene Tushyati Yathana Vede Danena Yajna Tirtha Vritabhihi. The son of Devaki, the supreme personality of Godhead, said, Sri Krishna cannot be satisfied by anyone's studies of Vedas, charities, sacrifice, pilgrimage, or vows. as much as he is satisfied by the devotional recitation of the Gita. So that's the reason I used to say every day, all the devotees, should recite Bhagavad Gita in whatever way you are reading. The Krishna says the effort. So he's saying Krishna is known as the son of Devaki and he's known as the supreme personality of Godhead. So Krishna, so there are other ways which you can satisfy Krishna. So he's saying when we study the Vedas, so yesterday we saw Bhagavad Gita is the cumulative essence of all the Vedas. And if somebody read Vedas, or if somebody do charity, if somebody do a sacrifice, if somebody goes on a pilgrimage or take a certain vows and follows that any vows. So yes, these are all important. Krishna will be pleased, but he's more satisfied by the devotional recitation of Gita. So when somebody reads Bhagavad Gita, so Krishna is more pleased. When somebody reads Gita and hear, so Krishna, is more satisfied with that. So this is mentioned in Vaishnavya Tantra Shah 22. So we'll start with the prayers. So let us start with prayers to invoke the mercy of the Lord Krishna, so that we are able to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita. I'll request everyone, I'll read one paragraph, means one line. Maybe after that you can repeat it after me. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnana Shalakaya
Om
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः
नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय
कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले
भूतले
श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांता स्वामीति नामिने
श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत
भक्तिवेदान्ता
स्वामी
स्वामिनिति
नामिने
नामिने
नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे
नमस्ते सरस्वती
देवे
देवी
गौरवाणी
गौरवाणी
प्रचारिणे
निर्विशेष
विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चाता देशतारिणे
निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे
जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद
जय
जय
श्री
श्री
कृष्ण
कृष्ण
चैतन्य
चैतन्य प्रभु
प्रभु
नित्यानंद
नित्यानंद
श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवशदि गौर भक्तविंद
श्री
श्री
अद्वैत
अद्वैत
गदाधर शिवासादि
श्रीवासादि
गौर
श्रीवासादि गुरु
भक्तवृंद
भक्ता वृंद
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा हरे
हरे
कृष्णा
कृष्णा कृष्ण
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 हरे
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 राम
राम हरे
हरे
राम
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 हरे
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 Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna,
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 Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
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 Hare
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 Rama,
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 Hare
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 Rama,
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 Rama
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 Rama,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
Hare.
Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
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 Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
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 Hare
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 Hare,
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 Hare
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 Rama,
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 Hare
Hare
Rama,
Hare
Rama,
Rama
Rama
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
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 Hare.
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 नमः विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते जयपताका स्वामिनिति नामिने नमाचार्य पदाय निताय कृपापदायिनि गौरकतदामतये नगरगरामतारिणे मुखं करोति वाचलं पंगुं लंते गिरिं यत् कृपातः महं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दं माधवं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. So Hare Krishna, welcome once again everyone. So this program is dedicated to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, who is the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So at the age of 69 years, Srila Prabhupada, within the span of 10 years, have established 108 temples. When he left India and went to US for preaching of this message of Lord Krishna, of Bhagavad Gita, he went with only 40 rupees. And when he, during the entire 10 years of his span, of the later age of the age, he have established 108 temples. So right now also people are studying, this MBA people are studying a course on Srila Prabhupada, like how within 40 rupees, how he was able to manage and establish so many temples. So that's what is the glories of Srila Prabhupada. So if you see in this material world, if we want to build one house, we almost take 70 years, 50 to 60 years. We accumulate so much of wealth and then we build one simple house such that our family members can stay. Think about Srila Prabhupada, how much struggle he have done, and within 10 years he have established more than 108 temples, and that's the reason is that's why Srila Prabhupada is more glorious. And maybe I'll be telling just small snippets about Srila Prabhupada. But we were also inspired by His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Guru Maharaj, who is the spiritual master and GBC of Congregational Development. And he instructed us that why don't we start preaching online also. So because of us, Guru Maharaj, we are here and we are preaching. So this is one of the verse, the 5th verse of Gita Mahatmya. Who wants to read it? Let's see.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Komal Mataji, please.
भरतामृत सर्वसं स्वं विष्णु वक्त्रद विनिःसृतं गीता गंगोदाकं पीत्वा पुनर्जन्म न विद्यते. By drinking the Ganges water of the Gita, the divine quintessence of the Mahabharata, emanating from the holy lotus mouth of Lord Vishnu, one will never take rebirth in the material world again. In other words, by devotionally reciting the Gita, the cycle of birth and death is terminated. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji. Hare Krishna. So whoever wants to read, there are many shlokas are there. They can raise their hand. I'll go one by one. It will be easy. That we can save the time also. Instead of saying who wants to read, they can raise their hand virtually and I'll take one by one. Yeah. So coming back, so in the Gita Mahatmya, it says river Ganga water is very auspicious. Why it is very auspicious? Because it is touched by the lotus feet of Lord. So there is a story which I was telling you before also I'll be telling on the third day I was telling. So when Lord Vamanadev came here on this earth, there is a big story. Just to cut it short, when he was Bali Maharaj asked, "What do you want?" He said, "I want a 3 feet where a like piece of land where I can put my feet." So when he raised his Lord Vaman Dev, when he raised this leg, what happened with the one leg? He have covered the entire half of the universe, and with the second, when he raised the lids, entire second full universe was covered. So when he started increasing with the height, what happened? The universe, it started imitating. When he raised the leg, from the leg where the above Goloka is there, from there a cloud disappeared, and from that a hole was formed, and from there Lord River Ganga touched that lotus feet of Krishna, and then she came here. So that is saying, it's saying the divine quintessence of the Mahabharata emanated from the holy lotus mouth of Vishnu. So when we take a bath in river Ganga, all our sinful reactions gets nullified. And what to talk about Bhagavad Gita, the river Ganga, which is coming from the himself, from the lotus feet of Sri Krishna, and this Bhagavad Gita is being spoken by himself, Lord Krishna. So Gita is spoken by the lotus mouth of Sri Krishna. And the most important part, it is saying, so anybody who reads and hear Bhagavad Gita, it's like the big drinking the Ganges. So everyone, you, all of the devotees who are present in this class, you're hearing and you're reading. So it's saying, in other words, by devotional reciting of the Gita, the cycle of birth and death gets terminated. So that's the reason. So in we have seen in our family members also, when somebody dies, we put Ganga and Tulsi in the mouth, just, and sprinkle all the Ganga, such that whatever inauspiciousness is there, that goes away. And this Ganga is coming from that lotus feet of Krishna. That's why it is very auspicious. Imagine how auspicious is a song sung from the mouth of Lord Krishna. So that's that, and we have a wonderful, wonderful chapter which will be coming from today onwards. Whatever 13 chapters are left.
Prabhu, why do you put Ganga at the time of death?
Sorry, Mataji.
Why we put Ganga and Tulsi at the time of death?
Yes, it is saying when we something is there at the point just to purify this whatever the body is there. So that's the, if somebody there are 9 holes also there in the body. The Atma goes from there. So one of the holes is also known as the mouth. So that's why if somebody dies, so Ganga is like to just purify the whole body. And Tulsi we put. So Tulsi is a, we see in the early morning in the Mangal Arti, we say Sri Tulsi Krishna Preyasi. So when we put this tilak also, if you see, this left hand and right hand side are the lotus feet of Krishna. And this downward, if you see, this is none other than Tulsi leaves. So Tulsi Maharani is very dear to Krishna. If you see, only Tulsi is offered to Lord Krishna feet. So that's why we Vaishnava, we take this Lord Krishna feet and we put in our head. So that's the reason Tulsi, if it's a saying in the further chapter also, we'll see Pataram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, when this sloka will be coming. So if somebody offer Tulsi also to Lord Krishna, Krishna is very pleased. So that's the reason. If we please the devotees of the Lord, and the devotees of the Lord is Lord Vrindai Devi, Tulsi Maharani. So if we please, the Lord will be very pleased. I'll be coming to, hope it answers, Mataji. I've just given a short, there's a long answer to this. Just it's already more than 20 minutes. Let's start today's chapter. Okay, so today's chapter name is Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Before we start, I just want to have one interaction. Can somebody tell me what did we discuss in chapter 4? What was the name of chapter 4?
Transcendental knowledge. Prabhuji.
Thank you, Neha Mataji. How many slokas were there?
46 slokas.
42. Yes, correct, Mataji. Can somebody remember any point which Lord Krishna told yesterday?
Yes. Can I say?
Yes, Mataji. Anyone can go one by one, please.
Okay, I will go first. What he mainly told that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharatabhyuthanam adharmasya tadatmanasya jamyaham. That means to deliver the pious people. I mean, and to destroy the all the wrong
Annihilate the
people
miscreants.
and miscreants, and to re-establish dharma on this holy land of earth. So he will take birth again and again to re-establish dharma.
Religion, dharma. Yes,
Dharma.
thank you, Mataji. So that's the reason why Lord Krishna appear here in this world. That point we discussed. Any other points who devotees remember? There are many other points which we discussed yesterday.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
The Lord explains the remote history of the Gita and the purpose and
Yes.
significance of his periodic descents to the material world and the necessity of approaching a guru, which is a realized teacher.
Yes, very wonderful point, Mataji. We discussed also about that history of Bhagavad Gita. How old is Bhagavad Gita? And Mataji said it is very important. Then in order to learn Bhagavad Gita, we need to approach a guru. So Krishna says, give this knowledge to Arjuna, and they say, in order to get this knowledge, we need to have three things. We need to asking a guru in a submissive way, and we need to render a service to him, and then only the guru will be giving us the knowledge because he has seen the truth. And also, what was the most quoted verse in Bhagavad Gita, which we have discussed yesterday? 4.9. Can somebody says? Not the recitation, only the meaning.
Paritranaya sadhuna.
4.9, Mataji.
Janma karma cha me vive.
Yes. Paritranaya sadhuna, it's a different 4.0.
2.15. Sorry.
So, no issues, Mataji. So 4.9 says, if you remember my appearance and activities, Krishna says, after leaving this body, you won't be taking birth again in this material world. So Krishna was saying this. And in the last sloka, which we discussed yesterday, 4.35, what will happen if I take this instruction from Srila Guru Maharaj or any of that spiritual master? What happens? Not the real knowledge comes from a self-realized. So because this souls have seen that Atma Darshana. So today's chapter name is known as Karma Yoga, action in Krishna consciousness. This is Karma Yoga action. So chapter 3 also, if you see, that was also Karma Yoga, and chapter 5 is also known as Karma Yoga. So yesterday we learned that how to know, if we know Krishna, about Krishna, we can go back home, back to Godhead. We learned that we have to learn it from spiritual master, and all the Matajis, whoever said that, they are all right, whatever the point they said. So this is a conversation which started between Arjuna and Lord Krishna. So earlier when they started the conversation, it was between the friends. Now this relation has grown from friends to between guru and disciple. So Arjuna is very asking those questions very seriously. So transcendental knowledge means, yesterday which we discussed, who is God? Who am I? What is my relation to this? This is knowledge. Until unless the knowledge is not there, we won't be able to know. So let us begin today's chapter. I know it's already have taken, but I'll try to cover quickly. So who wants to read? I see somebody raised hand.
Can I read?
Yes, Sushmita Mataji, please go ahead.
Arjuna Uvacha Sanyasam Karmanam Krishna Punayogam Cha Samshasi Yat Shreya Etayorikam Tanme Bruhesha Nishchitam. Arjuna said, O Krishna, first of all, you asked me to renounce work, and then again you recommended work with devotion. Now, will you kindly tell me definitely which of the two is more beneficial?
Yes, thank you, Mataji, for reading it out. Sorry. So here again, Arjuna is asking one question. What is that? So in class, sometimes we see when we were there in our childhood days, when we were there in schools and colleges, in class, sometimes we used to forget something. And again, we used to ask teachers, teacher, can you again tell me what you have said? So like that, Arjuna is here again asking. So in the third chapter, he said, mere by a just abstaining work doesn't help. Once again, Arjuna is saying, Krishna, again you said something, and now again I want to have a doubt. So Arjuna is asking here a perfect question, and Krishna is replying a perfect answer to his question. So yes, Arjuna again is asking, Krishna is asking these two questions. Should I renounce work or should I work with devotion? Because at the end of this fourth chapter, Krishna said, in the third chapter, Krishna was saying to Arjuna and instructing him that you should be doing your duty, because doing duty is more important than not doing your duty or being a idle or being a renunciate. So here again, Krishna at the end of fourth chapter instructed Arjuna that you should be doing your duty in accordance to the scriptures, in accordance to that Krishna consciousness way. Then he says, so he's again asking this question, should I renounce work or work with devotion? Let's see what Krishna is asking. So he's saying, which of these two is more beneficial, renouncing the work or working in devotion? He's saying, which one you recommend? So Arjuna is asking to Krishna. Let's see Krishna, Lord Krishna, what he answers. Who wants to read this 5.2 shloka? Ashwani Mataji, you want to read it?
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Sorry, Mataji.
Can I read it?
Yes, Mataji. Pallavi Mataji, you have raised your hand. You can read the next shloka, Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji.
Sri Bhagwan Yuvacha Sananya Karma Yoga Saka Nishchircha Karva Ubaya Toshya Karma Sanatya Karma Yogi Vishta. The personality of Godhead replied, the renunciation of work and work is devotion are both good for liberation. But of the two, work is devotional. Service is better than the renunciation of work. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading it out. So here, unequivocally, Krishna said, so when Arjuna asked which is one is better, so Krishna here it is saying devotional service is better than renunciation of work. So he's directly saying both are good. Krishna is saying, see, both are good. He is saying for liberation. But out of this two, work in devotional service is more higher than renunciation of the work. How it is saying? So Krishna is saying work is in devotion is better. We can understand, suppose there is one source and one is destination. So in order to reach a destination, there are many other ways. So suppose if I want to reach from Bangalore to New Delhi, there are different modes of transportation is there through which we can reach. Either I can choose by walking, either I can use a cycle, I can use a scooter, bike or scooty, any other things. Either we can use a car, either you can use a moped, either I can use a train or by flight. So we see there are other modes of transportation is there, but in order to reach your destination, which is the fastest mode among this, whatever the option I have given?
Flight.
Yes, in flight we'll be able to reach in 2 hours from Bangalore to Delhi. So Krishna here is also saying there are many other ways. So out of these two, if you do work in devotional service, it is better than renunciation work. And Krishna is saying work in devotion is better. How does he say? We'll be saying in further shlokas. Krishna will be explaining to Arjuna. Okay, who wants to read this? Pallavi Mataji, since you have raised your hand, you want to read it, please?
Yeah, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sanyastu Mahabaho Dukkham Apputam Ayodhyatha Yoga Yukto Munir Brahma Na Sirena Dikachati. Merely renouncing all activities yet not engaging in the devotional service of the Lord cannot make one happy, but a thoughtful person engaged in devotional service can achieve the supreme without delay. Hare
Yes.
Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji, for reading. So you remember in the first chapter, Arjuna said to Krishna, I want to renounce. I will go to a forest and I'll be living there, because if I kill so many people, my family and my friends, I'll be getting a sinful reaction. I can't kill everyone. It's better to do, I'll go to a forest and I'll be sitting there and I'll be enjoying. I'll be running away. If I don't do any activities, if I don't do karma only, I won't be getting sinful reaction, because karma means action. Whatever action you perform, either you'll be getting good or either you'll be getting bad. So you're saying we can only be happy when we are in devotional service, because renunciation can never make you happy actually. So if you see in this picture above also, there is a person who is there sitting in the forest. So Krishna is saying you can't sit like that. If you are sitting there and thinking about your house in Malleshwaram, which is there in Bangalore, so what will happen? You're thinking, oh, have my kids eaten something? Have my wife eaten something? So this renunciation is known as a false renunciation, or otherwise it is known as artificially renunciation. So it's saying merely renouncing all activities, a person cannot be happy. But a thoughtful person can achieve by doing when he is engaged in the service. Otherwise, you will not be happy. If someone is engaged in devotional service, one can achieve the Supreme Lord without the delay. So, there are a lot of stories are also there in Srila Prabhupada. I'm not sure, His Holiness in Radhanath Swami one time in his biography have mentioned also, he was born in America actually, and he was trying to learn this spiritual practice. So he have went so many countries. He have went even come to India, and he have stayed in Himalaya also and tried to practice this, because in the scriptures they have mentioned, if you go to Himalaya and meditate, you'll be getting that liberation. So until unless he went there and he didn't find, until unless he met with Srila Prabhupada, when he met with Srila Prabhupada, he got that real knowledge of scriptures, real knowledge of Bhagavad Gita. And then His Holiness Radhanath Swami, from that time, he's one of the senior most initiating gurus in ISKCON. So we see how just you don't need to renunciate. This is one occasion is there when Lord Jagannath, along with Subhadra and Baladev, comes in Rath Yatra. The Gajapati or the Maharaj of King Puri, see, the king is the king of the whole Puri. But what he's doing? He's just cleaning away the road, says that Lord Jagannath can come. So we can understand the king is engaged in grooming. So just by whatever activities are doing, you have a family, whatever you are there, just by doing and just engaging your activities in Krishna consciousness, you can achieve the supreme without an delay. So that's what Krishna is saying. Merely renouncing all the activities and not engaging in devotional service cannot make you happy. And why Krishna is saying you cannot be happy, will be saying other person, but he's saying even if a thoughtful person is also engaged in devotional service, he can achieve the supreme without any delay. Why he's saying? Why? Because this white Krishna is saying, first he will understand why artificial renunciation is not good. So there is a Falgu river. There's a river in Gaya in the Indian state of Bihar. So if you go to this Gaya, so on the periphery, if you see this river, it's just this river. If you see why it is known as Falgu, from the far, if you see, you will be only able to see mud actually. But when you climb on top of this mud, what will happen? Suddenly the water will be coming. So if you see outside something is there, inside something else is there. So we oftentimes see people, they deceive us. From outwardly they will be behaving very good, and inside there will be something else will be there. So he's saying these are nothing but artificial renunciation. If I take a sannyasi dress and I say I have renunciated everything, but inside I'll be having a taste for each and everything, that's known as artificial renunciation. So he's saying merely renunciation, all activities cannot make one happy. So that is artificial renunciation. Let's see what Krishna is saying further. Who wants to read this sloka? 5.10. Krishna talks here about karma.
Could I read
Okay.
it, Prabhuji?
Mahita Mataji, you can read next sloka. Please raise your hand. We'll go with Raja Gopal and Prabhu.
Okay.
Yes, Raja Gopal and Prabhu. Is it possible to read?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu.
Brahmani adya karmani sankam tyaktava karotiya lipyade na sa papena patma patram ivambasa. One who performs his duty without attachment and surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord is unaffected by sinful action, as the lotus leaf is untouched by water.
Thank you, Prabhu, for reading it so nicely. So here Krishna is talking about karma. saying one who performs his duty. What are the duties? If a person perform his duty without any attachment. So whenever we perform our duty, what happens? We have some attachment. Even if we cook also for our family members, we in our mental health is that somebody should appreciate that we are the result we are offering. So it's whenever we are working or whatever we are doing, we want, yeah, that's a kind of love is also there. If somebody appreciate, we work more also, that is there. But Krishna here it is saying one should perform his duty without any attachments. It's a saying surrendering the results unto the Supreme Lord. Why Krishna is saying surrendering the results is saying, as if you see a lotus here. So lotus is grown in water, but his leaves is untouched by water. If you put water also on the leaves, that just water will just go down, slide down. So he's saying, because when you surrender the result to Krishna, what will happen? You are unaffected by the sinful reaction. How it is there? One who does not, who does without attachment is like a lotus leaf untouched by our. So Krishna here is talking about karma. So karma is basically, I'm not sure Rajesh Prabhu is there or not. Let me see. Rajesh Prabhu asked on the third day when we were discussing about karma, there how many types of karmas are there? Since I didn't told that day, because in fifth chapter we'll be already discussing. So there are three types of karma, which Krishna says karma, vikarma, and akarma. So karma means the pious activities which any individual does. So if you do any action, you'll be getting good or the pious karma. If you do any negative activities, that is known as vikarma. When you are unaffected by any sinful reaction, that is known as akarma. So good results, I'll be discussing more about that, just have been given. So Krishna here say, if you do it for Krishna, it is known as akarma. If you do karma or vikarma, it will be having beginning and end. Work done for Supreme Lord is akarma, because that is not at all getting affected by sinful reaction. If you do this, opposite will happen. So maybe I'll discuss more. Let us jump into these three topics. So here, first discuss karma, vikarma, akarma in a detailed way, and then again we'll come back to next shloka, what Krishna will be saying after this. So usually what is known as karma? We talk about karma, we have seen you should be doing your activities. So karma in the Shastra is in the Bhagavad Gita, or in the other Shastras also it is means. So basically karma means which is your prescribed duties. So work which is mentioned in the scriptural direction, it is known as a pious activities. And what is vikarma? So in the Shastras, in the Vedas, some work is mentioned there which is forbidden activities. If you do these activities, you are going against those scriptures. So those are known as, and then you will be incurring sinful activities. And what happens? Akarma. What is known as akarma? So akarma means action which neither causes, neither you have a reaction, neither you have a sinful reaction, neither good, neither bad. So the akarma means action in Krishna consciousness, devotional activity. When you perform devotional activities, day before yesterday, Prabhu also asked, this is known as Krishna karma. When you are doing devotional service, what happens? You are under the protection of Lord, and you won't be getting any sinful reaction. So just take an example how this prescribed duties is. Suppose I'll take just an example, maybe Pallavi Mataji is here. So suppose I take given a Pallavi, I'll take some amount, suppose 10,000 rupees from Pallavi Mataji, and say, Mataji, you give it to me, I'll return you after some times, after a month or a couple of. We have seen in our daily to daily life also, a lot of our family members or friends, they take the money from us and they doesn't return also, and then they leave this world also, sometimes happen. So what happens? This in, if you go to a bank, this terminology is known as lending and borrowing. So if you give money to somebody, it will be known as a lending, or you will be borrowing. And then we again give it to them, that will be known as a credit. So once you are taking, it is known as a debit, taking out, and once you're submitting out, it's known as a credit. So what happens? So if I take this money from Mataji, and if I don't give her back in this life, what will happen? Again, I need to take birth in this material world to give those back. And Mataji also, since she have done this pious karma, we see lot of people do a pious karma in this material world. And what happens in order to enjoy those pious karmas again they need to take birth here also. And whatever karma, whatever sinful activities which is against this instruction, if we hit somebody, if we make somebody feel bad, or whatever activities are there, so that also we'll be getting. So on the third chapter we says this karma are nothing but a seed. Whatever seed you employ to the seed, it will fructify. Sooner or later it will fructify. So whatever activities you are doing, it will be fructified. So whether it is good or whether it is bad. So, but when we are doing our karma, when we are doing in the devotional service Krishna, neither will be getting this good, neither will be getting a bad. That's the reason we don't take birth again in this material birth. It's a saying, whether you perform karma or karma, or whatever your profession is there in this entire, in this birth, suppose you are an engineer, suppose you are a lawyer, suppose you are a doctor, a student, professor, whatever is there, or whatever education you have performed, in the next birth, again you need to have start from A, B, C, D. But whatever devotional service you do in this entire birth, again, suppose in this birth I have done 5%. So from the next birth, again it will accumulate and it will start from 6%. So Krishna in the further chapter also he says, devotional service is permanent asset. And other things is just like credit and debit. Whatever you give input, the output you'll be getting. So Krishna is saying, if you do it for Krishna, it is known as karma. If you do for karma or vikarma, it will have an beginning and an end. So we see now, suppose if you want to help somebody also, because of that help, maybe in this life or in the next life, whatever you will be getting, so it will be having an beginning and end. So a lot of people say, do good things, you'll be going to swarga, you'll be going to heaven. But people doesn't understand. Maybe if time permits, in one of the Bhagavad Gita, in the end of the topic, I'll be telling you more about also what does happen when the soul leave this body. That's in the Garud Puran it's mentioned there. Maybe that's a different topic only, but if time permits, in one day I'll tell you briefly. So what happens if you go to, in that Garud Puran is mentioned, if you go to heaven also, in that heaven you will be having, because of your good karma, you will be going there and you will be enjoying there. But after your whatever the amount you have collected good karma, once it is finished, again you will come to this material world. Again you will be born as this in earth. Maybe I'll discuss this topic again. So that's a brief about karma vikarma. Let's hurriedly go. Only 15 minutes is left. There are a lot of slides are there. Okay, who wants to read? I see Mahita Mataji last time she raised. Yes, Mataji, you can read it, please.
Yukta karma phalam tatkva sanitam aponti nasikam ayukta karma karena pale sakto nibadyate. The steadily devoted soul attains unadulterated peace because he offers the result of all activities to me. Whereas a person who is not in union with the divine, who is greedy for the fruits of his labor, becomes entangled.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, devotee, one request is there. Can somebody type in the chat box? Ramesh Prabhu is there. He have joined with the video. There is a left-hand side option will be there, whether it is joining from phone or laptop. You need to connect to the audio, otherwise they won't be able to start. So somebody can type in the chat box. Ramesh Prabhu can hear. Otherwise, there is no use of joining the class. Okay, I'll continue. Thank you, Mataji, for reading. So here, Krishna is saying the steadily devotee soul attains unadulterated peace because he offered the results of all the activities to me. So we see here one devotee is there, though she might not be having so much of money, but see, look at her smile. It's contagious. If you see here, if I zoom it, how happy she is. So that's the benefit. When you do a devotional service, from within, you will be feeling happy. You will be feeling, oh, why like people are fighting for small issues? Are we saying, okay, every time it's there? So that's what is the happiness is coming in. Other way, it's saying, whereas a person who is not the union with the divine, the person who doesn't follow Krishna consciousness, who doesn't believe in the God, what happens? Who is always greedy for the fruits of his labor, and he becomes entangled. So Krishna is saying here, wise men will try to do akarma, will try to do Krishna consciousness activities. But that doesn't mean he will be abstaining from the work. Whatever his prescribed duty is there, he will do according to Krishna consciousness. How you will do that? When you know that all the benefactor is Krishna himself, an intelligent person will be working on the soul platform. The first knowledge Krishna gave to Arjuna was that Krishna, Arjuna, you are not this body. Hello, you are what? Spirit, soul. So how it is there, we'll be seeing more also how it is there, because see how much money also we'll be having whenever we work. In this previous slide also we see is saying with the results, when we don't surrender the results, we are getting this sinful reaction. In order to get money, we have seen in this material world also, people go so beyond to earn those money. They don't care how many people are getting affected or something like that. So he's saying when we do work, we are always wanting this fruit. So we are doing this, we want a result. Okay, if I get this result, if I'm earning 10 rupees, I want a 15 rupees. He's saying, Krishna, if I get 15 rupees, I'll be very happy. So I'm, instead of enjoying in this moment, I am asking daily if I get. So once you get this 15 rupees, instead of enjoying in that moment, again we set a target 20 rupees. If I enjoy, I'll be more happy. So like that, the whole, we become more greedy and greedy. And that's all we say, we are entangled. We become entangled because of our fruits of our labor. How we'll be getting, we are entangled, we'll be seeing in that next shlokas also Krishna says. So let's see, I guess who have raised her hand. Okay, Uday Prabhuji, you can read the next shloka, Prabhu, if it is possible, 5.18.
Yeah, Vidya Veda Brahmena Dari Asati Suni Siva Sarva Pakika Pandita Sama Darshana. The unbent sages, by virtue of pure knowledge, see with equal vision a learned and gentle Brahmasana, a covered elephant, a dog eater.
Yes, thank you, Prabhu. Mataji, for reading it out. Mataji and Prabhuji, I requested one thing. Can somebody type in the chat box as that the other devotees, Durga, Mataji, and Ramesh Prabhu, they have joined without audio. If you write, then you need to join through Zoom, because whatever I'm saying, they're not able.
I have directly mentioned to him. I have
Okay,
directly
okay, sure,
chatted to
sure, sure.
him.
Thank you, Mataji. Both of them you mentioned, Komal Mataji. Yeah, okay. Thank you. So let's see. This is the one of the peace formula which Krishna is saying. So in that 5.12 before the shlokas, we saying the devoted souls go through a karma, and that's the reason they have this peace of mind. Others will be worried about their results. Okay, what will happen the next moment? What will we see now? We are living a life. What will happen the next moment? Though we are having so much of money, so much of wealth, so much good family members, house, everything is there, but still we are so much of worried. What will happen to next moment? Some or other distress other in the mind is there. So Krishna here is saying, how can a person be peace is there? Yesterday also we discussed a Brahmana, this a quality of a Brahmana is there, or a Guru is there. So Brahmana, what he sees? The humble sages, by virtue of true knowledge. Yesterday, the transcendental knowledge we discussed, sees with equal vision a learned man. A learned man is here. Whatever learned man is there, a cow is there, elephant is there, whether it's a outcast is there, or whether any other. So if you see whatever 84 lakh species are there, so a Brahmana sees everyone equal. And why he sees everyone equal? Because in all the species, Krishna is personally present there as a form of a Paramatma, and that's the reason he doesn't differentiate. He doesn't do, okay, you are from this caste, or you are animal, or you are plants, or no, nothing like that. He sees everyone with an equal vision, and that's the reason he's very peaceful. And that's the reason, see, we'll be seeing this one also. A Krishna consciousness person doesn't make distinction between bodies because of their relationship with the Paramatma. The super soul is present in everyone hearts. This is the characteristics of an enlightened karma yogi. We are discussing about karma yoga. This is known as a karmi yogi because he sees everyone. So this is one of my most important shloka. I personally, I like this very one with the beautiful example. So let's see, we'll read it quickly. Yashika Mataji, you can go ahead, Mataji.
ये ही संस्पर्शा जा भोगा दुखा योन्या एवते अदे अतवन्तः कौन्त्या न तेषु रमते बुधा. An intelligent person does not take part in the sources of misery which are due to contact with the material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them.
Thank you, Yashika Mataji, for reading
Right.
out. Lower your hand. Yeah. So Krishna here it is saying, who is an intelligent person? Says an intelligent person doesn't take part in the source of misery. So Krishna is here, it's talking about misery, why a person gets bewildered in this material world, why a person gets a dukkha, why he get a sadness. So what is the source of misery? Krishna is talking about the source of miseries are due to the contact with this material senses. We might have seen sometimes all people says, use your common sense, use your common sense. Can somebody says what is common sense? Okay, anybody, anyone answer?
Detachment from worldly pleasures.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. Other
A
answers?
sense that everybody has.
Yes. So what everybody has, which is common? Who can answer? We might have seen talk common sense, don't talk nonsense, or sixth sense. Might have heard so many things. So I used to also hear a lot of what this year. So when somebody wants to scold me, they will say, talk some sense, you use your common sense. So I never used to understand until unless I met with this shloka. So here, Krishna talks about this material senses. So there are basically 5 senses in human bodies. What are those senses? Through eyes, which we can see, through nose, which can smell, through our mouth, which we can taste and we can speak, through ears, we can listen, and through hands, we can sense and feel. So these 5 senses are there in the human beings, which are known as common senses. That's why the name is common senses, which is there in everyone. Okay. So what Krishna further is saying, O son of Kunti, such pleasures have a beginning and end. So whatever this material senses you are getting this through these 5 senses, you are getting the pleasure. It has a beginning and it has an end. So saying, so the wise man doesn't get delighted in them. So we'll discuss. So you might be saying, why have put this pictures is there. So we'll discuss more about this. So let me zoom the picture. Okay. So what you can see in this picture? What are these? Can somebody say?
Light is
Honeybee.
attracted. Insects are attracted to lights.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
very true. So these insects are known as fireflies or the moths. So if you see now the current during this just after the Diwali session, if you turn on your lights, what will happen? This fireflies or where the fire is there, they will just go and there and they started humming in there. And this fireflies also will come and attract towards this light also. I'll just take 2-3 minutes to explain. Otherwise, it's very important to know these 5 senses. Otherwise, I can quickly jump also, but it's will take some 2-3 minutes to. So this fireworms, what happens? They're attracted towards this light bulb. So they get attracted, and what happens? They like they fly, and they hardly their lives is about 1 day. So after some times, if you see, all their wings are being detached and they're falling in the grounds, and that's why how they die. So we see this one senses which is eye, which has been attracted to the lights, it needs to die. So if you see second, deer is here. Do you know how deer is being caught? Can somebody-
Antelopes.
Yeah, deer or antelopes, how they are being caught by hunters, or then they have been put for poachers, or they have been put to the zoo, or how they have been done.
When their horns get stuck in the branches of the tree.
Okay, yeah, one of the answer. But if there are no bushes, then what happens? Okay, so what happens to the deer? Deer is one of the fastest runner. So means is a very like what to say, chanchal. So you cannot catch him quickly. So what happens? But he's have one deficiency. When you play a soft music or a flute, what happens? The deer stops there and try to listen it, and that's how the hunter hunt him. So what are the second senses which the deer is there? Because of the sound, he gets pleasure. Through his ears, he gets this pleasure, and that's why he stops there, and that's how he's been caught here. Okay, this is the third example which I want to give. Can you see this? What is this? Can any guesses here?
An elephant.
Rabbit's burrow.
Stuck.
Rabbit's burrow. Okay. Any other answer?
Elephant.
Elephant.
Yes, Rashmi Mataji, you are correct. This is an elephant. So you know how elephant has been trapped?
Yeah.
How?
They dig the big, what is that, like a pit, and the elephant, while it is walking, it might fall into that.
Yes. So we might have seen.
Yeah. Yes.
You might have seen similarly with the rat. Sorry, Prabhu.
Sugarcane, Prabhuji.
No. No, not sugar. So what happens actually, how hunter hunts down is there, as you said, they dig a hill, and on top of this hill hole, they just cover with bushes and all.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and just opposite of this hole, they keep an female elephant. So we need to have a bait also. So in order, this male elephant, in order to touch this female elephant, come running in order to get some pleasure out of physical touch. He wants to have this pleasure, come and gets trapped in this hole. That's how it's been touched. So this is the third sense of touch. And that's how this elephant is trapped. So if you see this fourth picture, there is a picture there. This is a lotus flower there, and a bee is there. So,
Honeybee.
yeah, honeybee is there. So what does honeybee do? When he smells the fragrance of a flower from one flower to flower, and that's how he accumulate this honey from there. And what he does, he goes and build his house. So this honey buzz knows either a man or either a polar bear or whatever kind of bear will be coming, and they will be just destroying his what is the next is there, and they will be taking all the honeys. But still honeybee get lot of efforts he does to just collect this. So human being also, if you see, we also, for the three things, roti kapra makan, so this food, shelter and money, this is their clothes which we work hard and day and night, but when we leave this body, we are not able to get one what we say 1 inch of pin also, but still we struggle. So coming back to this honeybee, so what happens, he knows. See this, when he collect this lotus flower at the evening, what happens, this lotus flower closes off. So till morning to afternoon, or till just 4 o'clock, this honey will be working very hard, just like us. We also know we are going to die, but we still work very hard. And this is the thora, or little more, little more, little more. That's the greediness is there. So say, let me collect some more. So human being also does like that. And what happens when the bee collect more in the evening, the lotus closes off, and that's how honeybees gets entrapped in that. He's not able to breathe and he dies. So this is the fourth senses which is goes, this is known as nose, the sense. Okay, what is this fifth example? Can somebody tell what is this?
It's a fish. It's a fish.
Yes.
The fisherman is, I think somebody is, there's a hook there, and the fish is caught.
Yes, Mataji, you're very correct. So what happens, see, the Lord has given ample amount of food or anything to everyone. So if you see, in fish lives in the water, ocean or lake or river like that. So there are ample amount of foods are there which he can survive there. But what happened, somebody puts a bait. This is known as a bait. A fisherman or somebody, when they want to fish it out, they put a bait, and the fish thinks, oh, breakfast has come. So what happens, in order to have his breakfast, he becomes somebody else lunch. So that's how the fish is being caught. So this is the fifth senses is there, which is known as a tongue. So much food is there in the water, but he attracts to the baits. So this, if you see this 5 examples I have given, so if you see in one or the other animals, one of the senses is very much advanced. That's the reason they are being caught. Think about us human beings. All the 5 senses are in prominent. How much in danger we are. That's what Krishna says. This 5 senses can make you fall down. He's saying this senses is nothing but a source of misery, which are due to the contact of the material senses. Suppose somebody is a student who wants to study. Suddenly, suppose your parents are watching some film or something is there. You hear from your song, oh, this is a nice movie which is going on. Still, you have seen this movie, but again, we want to watch it or something. It is there. So who is so much a foodie, her mom is preparing something, food is there, okay, let me have some, tomorrow is very important day, and you eat a lot of food, and then tomorrow you get a constipation, and tomorrow you're not open. So any of these 5 senses, if it is goes away, you won't be able to get it. And this is, the more you want, the more you have it, the more you get entangled. So that's why he's saying such a place. So punya and papa are like this, credit and debit. Whatever work we do in Krishna consciousness, it is permanent and it will never what we say, go down also. So there was an example also. A person think this, how this karma plays an important role also. A person, because everything is destinized also sometimes, but when we are working for Krishna consciousness, what happens, it sometimes it gets changed. A person, he think I will suicide. Actually, he what he did, he try himself to a tree, and what happened, he was about to die, and the branch fell, and below the water was there, and as soon as he fell, because this branches was there a crocodile was there, the branches went down, and the crocodile died. And because the crocodile died, there was a princess who was bathing in front of them, and she thought, oh, this man has saved my life. And then what happened, this lady married him, and this man who wants to die become a king. So we can see, even he was not interested to become a king, he wanted to die. So this one, in this material world, this is a dualities of happiness and sadness will be automatically coming based on our previous karmas also. Who wants to read this sloka? Somebody, yeah. Neha Mataji, have you read already, or you want to read it? Shagun Mataji, you want to read it? You have raised your hand, Mataji. Is it possible to unmute yourself and read?
Yo nataha sukha natra armas tatha anantraha jo ज्योतिर इवा यहा सायोगी ब्रह्मा निवर्णम ब्रह्मा भूत्यो दिगित्याथि agicchati. One whose happiness is within, whose is active and rejoice within, the whose aims is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is the liberated in the supreme, and ultimately he attains the supreme. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for reading it out. So here is saying, unless one is able to release happiness from within, how can one retire from the external engagement meant for deriving superficial happiness? Here we see a liberated person enjoy happiness by factual experience. He can therefore sit silently at any place and enjoy the activities of life from within. So from within, he will be feeling this happiness. So that's the reason he's saying is the ultimate. Such a liberated person no longer desires external material happiness. This state is known as Brahma Bhuta, attaining which one is assured that he will be going back home, back to Godhead. So this is that from within. Unless you don't taste it, you won't be feeling that happiness. Let's see what Krishna is saying further. Okay, who has raised their hands? Neha Mataji, you want to read it? I see Mataji is not there. Okay. Who?
Yes, Prabhuji. भोक्तारं यज्ञ तपस्मा सर्वलोक महेश्वरं सुबुद्रं सर्वभूतानां नत्वा मां स्नातिं रचति. A person in full consciousness of me knowing me to be the ultimate beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, the supreme lord of all planets and demigods, and the benefactor and well-wisher of all living entities, attains peace from the pangs of material miseries. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. So this is known as universal peace formula which Krishna is giving here to Arjuna. So you have to do only three things. You have to be in full consciousness of Krishna and know that he is the ultimately beneficiary of all the sacrifices. You may be Ishvara in your house. Sometimes we say, no, this is my house. I'm the Lord of this house. You may be Ishvara in your house, but Lord is the Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Here Krishna is saying, I am the Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. All the entire universe, I am the Sarva Loka. I have created those Sarva Loka. And then he says, Shuhadram. He's saying always a well-wisher. The second is saying always a well-wisher of all living entities. When we see everyone, in everyone heart Krishna is there, and we understand, then we think or everyone like we behave in a good way, and then we doesn't think that something bad thing should be happening. We are always a well-wisher of every human beings and every creatures also. And then Krishna is saying, by knowing this, you will attain peace. So Krishna is saying, you will work for Krishna, then once again you know this, you will do for him. Doing for Krishna, you don't get a reaction. If you do for anyone else, you will get a back a reaction. Arjuna never got a reaction for this fight. So if he was here, he's also saying, is there well-wisher for attains this payings of the most important thing is the person should be in this full consciousness of me. Krishna is here is saying, because that is he knowing, because he's the ultimate benefactor, or whatever sacrifice also you make, it's ultimately goes to Krishna, because all the demigods also derive the source from him only. And the supreme lord of all those planets, all those demigods, here Krishna is himself saying, and he's the all benefactor and well-wisher. So these three things we should remember. This is the universal formula. If you get any chance, sometimes if you go to Mayapur, you will see lot of foreign devotees. More than 95 countries have lived their own country and came India and have been living there only. So this is the whole universal peace formula which we can say it is there. So United Nation also, if you see, they are still fighting for how we can because peace formula. But Krishna here has given this peace formula. If you understand everything, nobody will be fighting, and that's all. Everyone will be in peace. So there is one story also which I want to say, and the importance of why do we chant. And then quickly I'll say what we have discussed today, and then I'll tell you one story, because every day we whatever chapters we discuss, according to that one stories also we tell. So this is the recap of fifth chapter. We Krishna talks about, Arjuna asks what is Niskam Karma Yoga. Krishna talks about Niskam Karma. Arjuna asks what is better, renunciation or devotion. So Krishna says both are good, but devotion working is better. So now how to we should perform in this Niskam Yoga? So Krishna says work should be done without attachment, as the water are there on the lotus leaf. Offer results to Krishna. It's a characteristic of this enlightened karma yogi. We have discussed. They say equal vision to all living entities, and 5.2 say never attracted to sense gratification. What is the peace is there? Know Krishna as the beneficiary and benefactor, and such person, if they know, never attains, such person attains peace from the pangs of material misery. So there comes one important story is there. So maybe I'll quickly, it's mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also. I'll quickly go through. So there was, the story's name is Brahmana, and there was a lot of devotees there in this call. They might have heard this story also. So Krishna was the son of Nanda Maharaja. It's known as a Vaishya, and he says when they were going in the childhood days, they used to graze this cow herd. And after the while they were returning from the evening, so they heard this yagna was there. So all that their Gopal's friend was very hungry. So they said, Krishna, can you feed us something? So they said, okay, maybe why don't you do one thing? You go and ask this sadhus who are doing this yagnas here. Krishna told them, and then said, don't take my name. Don't take my name, take the name of Balram, because when Krishna took he was Nanda Maharaj was known as Vaishya, and he said, ask him, Balram is asking, because Balram is known as the son of Vasudeva, and Vasudeva was a Kshatriya. they go and ask for food. In Yajna, why did Krishna did this? Because this Srila Prabhupada also mentioned this Brahmana never used to take the name of Krishna or Balwant. So that's the reason also they were not qualified. The people who are not able to take the name of Krishna also, they won't be able to give anything. So what happens? These people, the Gopas went to the Brahmanas and said, you are doing this so much of austerity to please the Lord. The Lord himself is asking the food. They said, until unless this, I'm just keeping the story very short because of the time, because this story, if I narrate, it will take 10 to 15 minutes only. So what happens? This Brahmana said, no, 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 you cannot take the food until this the yajna is being completed, and then only you can take the food. And so this cowherd boys went again and said, this Brahmanas and this cowherd boys, this Gopas were also very intelligent, and they, when they came back, they says this they are not understanding the supreme sacrifice. The first mantras also is given to the Vishnu, and the Vishnu is Krishna himself is asking for the food, and but they are not giving. So when they went to Brahmanas, they again told to Krishna, they said, okay, go to the wives of the Brahmanas, and they are the only person who is preparing the food, the prasadam there. You go and ask them, and then let's see what is there. So when this Gopas went to the wife of the Brahmanas, and this they saw the wife of the Brahmanas was thinking, they were reciting the names of Krishna, and they were saying, Krishna, we are preparing this food for you, you will eat, we are making makhan, we are making so many varieties, and you will be eating these all things. And this Gopas was very fruit, and as soon as they saw this Gopas, the wife of the Brahmana said, oh, where is Kanha, where is Kanha, where is Krishna, where is Balaram? And they said, and then this Gopas, they said, Maya, Kana is very hungry, can you give us the food? And the wives of the Brahmanas, they were very happy. They took all the pots, and these Brahmanas, they stopped her also. Where are you going? And say, no, no, Krishna is calling. He needs and food. He's very hungry. He said, no, no, the food needs to be offered here. First, it needs to be offered. They didn't listen to their husband also, and the Brahmana's wife, they ran where Krishna was there, and they ran there, and then this tears was there in their eyes of the wife of the Brahmanas. And it's mentioned in the Srila Prabhupada, and they mentioned the Vyasdev also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, this Brahmana wives, when they saw Krishna with a blackish complexion, wearing a garment that glittered like a gold, he wore such a nice garland of forest flowers and a peacock flower on his head. And they were so much of mesmerized with the beauty, and he was like, whatever the minerals were there in the whole body, it was anointment, and it was there, and it was just exactly looking like an actor in a theatrical stage. They offered the feed to Krishna, and then Krishna said, my dear wives of the Brahmanas, you are all very fortunate, and you are welcome here. Please let me know what can I do for you. So then the wives of the Brahmana said, you have called me, and now you are saying you can go. Now nobody will accept me. My husband will be also now, because we have came running from there, whatever the service was. Then Krishna said, he confirms that the conditioned soul can reach the highest perfectional stage by surrendering into him. They give a lesson to Brahmana, these wives, and they say this is the example. He doesn't need anything or doesn't need so much of sacrifices. What is looking, the faith, the love, the trust, and how you can surrender into him. And the wives of the Brahma then replied, dear Lord, this side of instruction doesn't benefit you. You are the internal promise which you have made, and you protect your devotees. Then how we can go now? The Supreme Lord, then he said, what they said, no, 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 nothing will happen. If you go also, your husband will be accepting you. And when they began to talk among themselves, when they reached back to there, so this Brahmana realized in their heart, and they said, no, no, we were doing it superficially, but actually the devotion which you showed is the supreme. And at the end of their life is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam also, the gopis who were this the Brahmanas wives which they serve, they went back home to Godhead, but this Brahmanas, they didn't wait because they didn't had the faith also. So that's the stories of Brahmanas and their wife. So who wants to read this sloka? This is very important. Rashmi Mataji have raised your hand. You want to read it, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Harir eva samaratya
Hari eva samaradhyaya
sarva deve sureswara Harinama Maha Mantrer Nasya Nasyat Papa
Pishakakam.
Vishakam. All the grievous sins of one who worships Lord Sri Hari, the Lord of all the Lords, and chants the holy name, the Maha Mantra, are removed.
Yes, we see here, it's how important is there, whatever in your previous life or this life, whatever grievous sins you have done. So if you worship Lord Sri Hari, the Lords of the all lands, and when you chant Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare, what happens? This Maha mantra is so potent, so powerful, so pious that whatever your sinful activities are there, everything gets nullified and you will be able to release the internal peace from within. That's the potent of Maha mantra. With this, maybe I'll request we'll chant 20 times of Hare Krishna Maha mantra, and then maybe few announcements are there. I just want to make, and then we'll end up with question answer, and we'll end the today class. So I'll request devotees can repeat it after me, and if possible, they can turn on their videos also. So we'll start with Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vashati Gaura Bhaktavrinda.
Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Thank you,
Hare
devotees, for
Krishna,
reciting the Hari Mantra. So just a
Hare
few
Rama,
announcement
Hare
is there. You
Rama,
might have
Rama
seen in the
Rama,
group
Hare Hare.
also. We have posted. So tomorrow is very auspicious day. Tomorrow day is known as Gita Jayanti. So tomorrow in the evening, we'll be reciting all the 700 shlokas of Bhagavad Gita. If time permits, please do join, because it's a lot of auspiciousness you will be getting. In one shot, you'll be able to read complete Bhagavad Gita of all those 700 shlokas. It's a free event. Devotees can join anytime. And this is us. And one more announcement on Sunday. There will be tomorrow and Sunday. There is no classes. We'll be having chapter 6, which is Dhyan Yoga. On the day Monday, at the same time 7 o'clock, Dhyan Yoga. And this is on Sunday. Sri Hari Prabhu will be taking one special classes on this Bhagavad Gita, how we can get benefit. So the more details will be posted in the group. And just a quick announcement. So whoever attendance minimum attending 12 days of virtual, not virtual. I mean, personally they are present in this Zoom call because we are mapping the what we say. Sorry, the attendance and taking this 12 courses. At the end of this classes, you'll be getting this certificate. But don't leave this 12 classes after attending. Just that you have attendance, you are eligible for this certificate, and leave the classes, because in my previous classes also some devotees after attendance this 12 classes they have left. But it's more important the message, the transcendental knowledge we'll be getting, it's more important. And this is our address. Whoever is there in Bangalore and whoever is staying apart from Bangalore in other states, they're welcome, and please do visit. And now I'll open for question and answer. The class is over right now. Sorry, I took some more time today to explain more because the topic was slides were more today. So if somebody is having any question, the stage is now open. I take one or two, and then we can wind up. Yeah.
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
I have two questions. One thing is that
Prabhu, can you come near more to the mic because your voice is a bit low.
Prabhuji, I'm riding actually, but I'm driving actually to Kochi on the way.
Prabhu, what I'll suggest is there, once you are back at home, you can call me also. It's not good when you are riding and then because any accident might have also happened, Prabhu.
It's okay. I put my headphones.
Okay.
I just take aside. Thing is actually you are telling about the senses, the 5 kind of senses what every human being has. Can you repeat that once again, and also about the akarma, vikarma, and the one that thing also?
Sorry, Prabhuji, your voice is very low. Maybe I was not able to hear it properly. Any devotees who have heard it properly can say.
Yeah, I'll repeat it. Yeah, I'll repeat it. One second. Prabhuji, one second. The thing is that actually, can you please repeat